I've got to hand it to Nintendo. They have done a really good job with arms. I definitely feel like the game has legs, and that will be the last 2 puns that I will make in this video. There will not be any more puns. Can't really think of any more from the top of my head. I'm sure you guys can think of more arms puns in the comments section below. But yeah, I really did enjoy the global test punch. I definitely feel like this game has something about it. Like what I mentioned in my review that I did put out on Saturday, I sort of do get a Splatoon vibe from this game. I also get another vibe as well, which we'll go into later on in this video. But yeah, I really did enjoy myself in the global test punch, and like what I mentioned in the video that I did make on Saturday, definitely did notice that the game has a learning curve to it. I definitely did notice that I was getting better at the game the more I played it. It's like I was dashing more, I was jumping more, hitting my grab punches, more. I was just getting better at the game the more I played it. I guess the only things that I need to do is curl my punches more and definitely shield, just because I never do shields. Something which you should do, especially when facing rush attacks. So yeah, definitely did notice that there is a learning curve to the game, and I just enjoy myself. I guess the only downsides that I did notice was that I did have some connection issues in one of the sessions, but I'm not sure whether that was down to my internet or whether that was the game itself. So I did notice some connection issues, and I guess the only other downsides that I did notice was that the 1v1v1 or the free-for-all mode, I definitely feel like it does need tweaking, just because the game mode itself, I feel like there is some sort of potential there. It's just how people play it. You got people just camping at the back of the map, just letting 2 fighters face off, and then when one of those fighters is down, those people are on full health, and then they easily take down the person that did take out the other fighter. Or you've got a situation where you've got 2 fighters just aiming at 1 fighter. So I feel like to tweak the game mode, they should, if you are inactive for like 20 seconds, then it should kick you out of the game. And if you are constantly targeting 1 person as well, I feel like there should be some sort of punishment there as well. I do believe Smash Brothers has a similar feature to that within the 8-player Smash mode. Might even be in the 4-player Smash mode as well, just like the general game itself. But I definitely can remember a feature similar to that within Smash. So I definitely would like to see a similar feature in that game mode as well. 2 versus 2 mode is fun as long as you've got a teammate that knows what they're doing. Half the time you've got flipping somebody there where it feels like they've got no flipping hands. It's just pretty much you doing all of the work. It is pretty much 1 versus 2, and the other person on your team is pretty much a spectator. So I guess that is just the only issues that I have with the game. I definitely did feel like the game was balanced, but I know some people saying that Ribbon Girl was OP. Didn't really notice that at all. Whenever I lost, I always felt it was down to me and not the game. I always felt that I could have done more to combat that person from winning. So I could have shielded myself more. I could have shielded myself from their rush attack. I could have caught my punches more in DNA Lab and not just doing straight punches against the columns. So yeah, I felt like the game was balanced. I guess we don't have all of the arms in the game. Like, we don't have access to all of the arms. We don't have access to all of the characters yet. So I guess that could change. But at the moment, I definitely do feel like the game is balanced. But moving on to the point that I did talk about at the start, I definitely feel like ARMS has legs. I feel like this is Nintendo's Overwatch. I definitely did get an Overwatch vibe from this game, as well as Splatoon. It's like Mechanica. She really does remind me of Diva, especially in her pink skin. And the Ninja College stage, it reminds me of Hanamura as well. So I definitely do get an Overwatch vibe from the characters as well. The fact that, I don't know, I just feel like these characters, I feel like they could have the same sort of popularity as the characters do have in Overwatch, I should say. And with the fan art that has been released, and with the art that has been released by Nintendo themselves, I definitely feel like there is going to be that popularity there for, you know, we've already seen it for like characters like Min Min, Helix and Twintail. There is a fan base there for those sort of characters, and it definitely does remind me of the Overwatch sort of popularity for certain characters in that game as well. So this definitely does feel like Nintendo's Overwatch, and I feel like it could have the same sort of impact as what Overwatch did have. I definitely feel like people could be interested to try out, you know, characters like Twintail, characters like Min Min and Helix. I definitely feel like because these characters in ARMS, they are unique, they do look interesting to play as. I feel like people will be interested to play the game just to try out those characters, sort of similar to Overwatch. But I don't feel like the game will sell as well as Overwatch. Overwatch has sold 30 million units. I don't think it will sell as much as that, just because ARMS is a fighting game. Fighting games are a little bit more niche than shooting games. Fighting games are definitely popular. I would say with the casual audience, shooting games are more popular with that sort of audience, and casuals, you know, 30 million users, a lot of that will be casuals that, you know, are picking up the game just to, you know, try out and play in the events as well. So yeah, I feel like this game has the potential to be huge, especially in the competitive scene. I feel like this game could be really big competitively. I'll be interested to see and watch this game in a competitive setting, and maybe that could also drive sales for the game as well. It's like Smash, a lot of people like to play that competitively. Maybe the same sort of thing will happen with ARMS as well, but I definitely do get an Overwatch vibe from this, with the characters, with the animations, and with the winning and victory poses as well. And yeah, I feel like this game is. I always knew this game was going to be a game that I was going to enjoy. I've got a video on my channel where I went through all of the stages of me reacting to the game. So from the initial trailer that we did see in the Switch reveal presentation in January, to the treehouse footage, and then to a direct reaction as well. I always knew that I would like this game, and I think ever since from the last direct with Twintail, maybe a little bit before that with Helix and Min Min, I definitely feel like people are now, you know, starting to gravitate towards certain characters. I didn't really notice that before characters like Min Min and Helix were announced. I think ever since those characters were announced, I am now starting to see like a fan base for certain characters. And like what I said earlier, it definitely does remind me of what happened with Overwatch, how certain people, you know, started to gravitate towards certain characters within Overwatch as well. And with more characters coming all of the time, I definitely feel like it will help the game as well. So I feel like this is Nintendo's Overwatch, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the game. I know that this game will be quality. I know this game will be really good. I knew that before I played it, just because, you know, the developers for the game are the same developers that made Mario Kart 8, and that game was absolutely fantastic. So I knew that the game would be good. And yeah, I definitely feel like the game has potential to sell really, really well. How well it will sell, I guess that depends on the Switch install base, and I guess that depends on, you know, whether people will be interested in a new fighting game. Maybe, I know a lot of people are put off with motion controls. A lot of people don't know that you don't have to play the game with motion controls, so maybe that will put the game off, and maybe that will hinder the game in terms of having the same sort of impact as Overwatch. But I definitely feel like with the character design and with how the game looks, with the whole animated sort of cartoony sort of art style, I definitely get an Overwatch vibe from this game. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying the game at the moment. It is my most anticipated game just because it's just the next game that I am looking forward to the most. So yeah, it's just, I really can't wait to get the full game in my hands. Can't wait for the next global test punch session as well. And yeah, I'm just really loving this game at the moment, and I think a lot of people are as well. So that is it for this video. Definitely I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about what I did mention in the comment section below. And yeah, we'll see you in my next video.